Well, certainly no case of nerves for Crawford in his first big show. Very relaxed in there. Immediately following our show tonight, it's Road to Donaire Rigondeaux, taking a look at both men as they prepare for their matchup on April 13 at Radio City Music Hall. 2 weeks later from Argentina, hometown hero Sergio Martinez defends his middleweight world crown against undefeated Englishman Martin Murray. Also that night, a heavyweight battle in California between Chris Arreola and big punching Bermain Severn. This morning, their press conference announcing the fight was held here at the Mandalay Bay.
Don't get too wide with that.
Ringside behind us tonight, Mike Tyson, enjoying fan adulation as his one-man show continues to tour the country.
To critically well-received reviews.
You don't want to say raves?
I would say some raves, yeah.
I've seen some raves, absolutely. People like the show. So far, by CompuBox numbers, this is like one of those NCAA tournament games where two teams who've been scoring 80 points per game all season suddenly are scoring 20. Prescott 5 out of 37 in the second round. Crawford 7 out of 29. That's a slow pace for two fighters who have shown offense in the past.
Well, Crawford, that's a good thing for because he hasn't been known to go. I think this may be his first 10-round scheduled fight.
It is indeed.
So with him, he want to keep it as slow paced as he can so that he remains comfortable. Whereas with the other guy, he's a little bit more comfortable later as the fight goes.
One of the keys, I think, was Crawford got Prescott's respect in the first round. It's a slow pace, and that's partly to do with the fact that though slick, Crawford has some punching power.
Yes, he's slick, and he does have good punching power.
Dropped in a right hand that seemed to get Prescott's respect in round one.
Crawford seemingly increasingly comfortable here in the southpaw stance. Stays with it from the beginning of this round.
Watch all of them. Watch your heads, too.
So for the moment, Bradis Prescott is fighting a southpaw.
Well, now having neutralized some of Prescott's natural aggression, the key for Crawford is not to make mistakes.
And in a moment of recognition, Prescott leads with a straight right hand and lands it down the pipe against Crawford in that southpaw stance.
And Crawford took it pretty good, so I'm still a little bit amazed.
And there's a straight left hand for Crawford. Perfect antidote to the straight right hand that Bradis Prescott landed.
Crawford showing very impressive boxing skills here.
And very impressive defense, I must add.
Roy, why do you think he's so comfortable fighting exclusively as a southpaw here rather than switching up and fighting right-handed?
Well, because he was such a good amateur fighter, and he obviously has so much experience at doing a southpaw. So guys like him, he probably is a lot like Marvin Hagler. It becomes second nature to him because he did it so much as a kid. It's like anything else. Anything you learn early, you're much better at it when you get older. So he's much better at fighting as southpaw, probably are much more comfortable than most Colombians are fighting the hand that they really are because he has so much more experience at it. I like him against Prescott as a right-hander better because Prescott has a big right hand, and this gives him.
That's why I was wondering why he's doing this here.
This gives him an opportunity to land that big right hand better than had he been in a right-handed stance. But maybe he in his corner knows best.
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Next week on HBO 2, April 6th, a special day of boxing from Macau will feature the debut of two-time Chinese Olympic gold medalist Zhao Ximing.
You gotta keep turning it. Can't let his feet get set. All right? Keep that front foot moving. So that back foot, swing. Yeah, swing de nuevo.
He's outside, left side. 1, 2, 3, then to body. Action, give me some action. Fight for yourself.
And here's why I don't like him as a left-hander, because see that straight right hand? That's the shot that would cause problems for a southpaw fighter against an orthodox fighter. And with Prescott, I think his right hand may be his best weapon, so that's why I don't really care for Crawford being in the southpaw stance, but if it's working for him in his corner and he's comfortable with it, why not?
Columbia box numbers through round 3. Connect percentages are very low. Prescott 16 out of 110, Crawford 18 out of 108. They only landed 7 punches between them in the 3rd round. Harold, how do you have it scored so far?
Look at Jim. I've got it 2-1. 29-28, Terence Crawford. Jim, I thought Brady Prescott threw some nice shots in round 1, but in rounds 2 and 3, he didn't do a darn thing. I mean, he's a guy that he's a big puncher, and he's not getting off. Look, Crawford's got him in the middle of the ring, and Prescott's looking at him. And Crawford's popping him with jabs, and Prescott's looking at him. I mean, he's got to stop looking and let go of his hands. 2-1, Terence Crawford.
I'll take your word for it, Harold, but I think it's a shutout so far. You are scoring here. So, and the first round was close.
The good thing Crawford is doing, like I said before, he's going left and right, which is he's using lateral movement to neutralize Prescott right now. So Prescott is not throwing because he doesn't see anything.
And doesn't his natural movement in the southpaw stance take him away from Prescott's right hand?
Yes, it does.
Which may be part of the reason that he's staying there?
Very possible.
You also it may be a good indication of the kind of fighter Crawford is, in that as a righty, Prescott was also able to neutralize Crawford's offense. And here as a lefty, the connect seemed to have risen, at least to my eye, for both guys. And Crawford's looking to land some offense, even, you know, as a slick boxer.
Well, he's not allowing Prescott to land much right now. That's always a good thing for him, especially when he's fighting against a puncher.
So there's a right hand whipped around the outside by Prescott.
And to your point, Jim, he was circling away, and it took some of the sting off the punch.
Indeed.
Stop. Okay, watch your feet, okay? Watch the feet. Park.
Crawford here attempting to pull off a difficult, dangerous style at the highest level, or at a very high level, which is, you don't see a lot of clinches. There you saw one. He's staying more or less in punching range against a puncher and trying to outbox him on a dime. Difficult to pull off, but highly effective if you can do it.
Yeah,
and so far, he's doing all right.
He's doing a good job of it. I think his jab is enabling him to do such a good job at it because that jab is keeping Brandon Prescott's hands at home. Right there. Beautiful jab.
Crowd doesn't love it, but it's an effective defensive show. Boxing fan Juan Manuel Marquez seated at ringside with top-ranked boxing president Todd DeBuff as they discuss the action in this fight.
Three punches.
Class clown Brandon Rios building up the energy in his dressing room before the fight. Never without a smile on his face, sometimes even during the action in the ring. Yes, Brandon, we're looking at you. Combi box numbers on jabs through the 4th round. Prescott 12 out of 96, Crawford 15 of 107. It has been a jabbing contest. Prescott landed 6 of 29 jabs in the 4th round.
Yeah, the Rios Alvarado crowd, maybe not the best to unveil this kind of style.
Right, last thing they came to see.
If it was Mayweather or a Hopkins or a pure boxer in the main event, maybe they'd appreciate it a little bit more. But I don't find it, it's obviously not action-packed, but it's for the purists, but it's pretty to watch, I think.
I think it's beautiful to watch. Crawford's doing some really good boxing, doing a good job of neutralizing a much bigger